my dear students. Today I am here with a lesson of class 5th English. It is the 5th chapter of your book, and the name of the chapter is The Man Who Empowered the Blind. Diringatai class 5th day chapter jik The Man Who Empowered the Blind zirkan bangata silin tigra thugun. Ivo sila sangumangi ngijagun la question jik tinle. Ngijagun room jina dukste yot zane achanak light po songs tangna. How do you feel? Kaukshi feel charak le ngija. Achanak ngija room ya juk stot kyak light achanak songs kyak. Ngija mane have you feel lost? Stor hala pura ngata changkang mathong kanjik we feel helpless halale ngata helpless she feel chamirale. Tate simona light po yong kyak and all is well for us. Ngati fe yang chi sangma thik chano light yong hala. Ngata gomane chi train yot kan bo continue chong yana no. Just imagine ki there are such people in the world. Tigrale I world inanga torong itosma mi mangpo yot kyale which who are sightless. Khona mane thongches po bilkul khone sight hala thongches bilkul khona thoamet kyak they are blind. Tigrale ta diringa ta story wo itos mi ji skola silenle is a great personality ji skola kave I hala khongrang blind in enjik halale khongrang sightless in enjik mi baki blind gunla khoe empowered josh kyale. Tigrale. Yes, we are talking about Louis Braille. Tigra khoi ming minole Louis Braille. Louis Braille was a French educator and inventor of a system of reading and writing for use by the blind and visually impaired. Louis Braille bo a French educator jin kyak malab ki khon teacher jik hala. Teacher jang ata zer nyante nokle yang khon system jik phings kyale khone blind gunifya takite system e through blind gun read chongyanen yang right ang chong yan diang yan tigrale then khoi system bo till date tarong inna zoksla unchanged yot yagle tarong hala mi changmala blind mi changmala use chong yan at tigra thugun then khoi skola cha picture use tangna. He was born on 4th January 1809 in Couperet, France. Kon French person jikin kya, French pa jikin kya. So Couperet, French na France na Couperet zete jaga jikot kya. Teru kongun shkes kya tigrale. And he died on 6th January 1852 at the age of 43 in Paris, France. Then yang kongun France koraina Paris na, which is the capital of France. Hala France capital na kon. Tongskyak tigrale khowate time ka lowo 43 chat kya. So his father's name was Monsieur Braille abalevo saddler jigin kyale. Saddler means khoe izuk chat kya ta jese ki izuk choche mana jese stay ka jonala izuk zamana gyapcha hala kave is kao stay ka tang stay jona manole migun oto khoi lasin kya oto choches po khoi lasin kya tigrale. So before we get into the chapter first we will look at the new words that we are going to face we are going to find in this chapter tigrale. I chapter na chi new words tunga ta sten jese ki first is harness. Harness na chi jang thogun an arrangement of leather straps and metal pieces by which a horse is fastened to a vehicle etc. Jese ki sta hala stay ka ngatai zu khashap chokshik tang chesia te fia leather means hala kwanang yam pochos ti amirole straps oto ngatai harness in tigra thogun then saddle a seat for a ride on a horse ngengal la zekan choksla stay ka gyapcha hala ka veka ngatang dugat halali oto ngata stay ka tang se dugat te ngata saddles in tigrale. Then all a small pointed hand tool for making holes in wood or leather na koi na ya wood ka chitong si biang jik putche se fia ngatai tools use to anokpa o te volangata alls and tigra tun. Then flip up zena toss up and turn over in the just air jese ki ngatai izuga jalak chik hala izu lungspena songs tang na te volangata flip up zeno tigra thugun. Then cane mean walking stick which is used by the blind gune use chokane walking stick yamira oto langatai canes in tigrale. Then tap ikangis dugle chik inok gentle sound or stroke made by hand or some object lakpanang yampo izwa hala gentle sound jik izwa tak zarkan jik chokshik hala oto ngatai izukzen taps in tigrale ya yang chalak ching yam pugatai izuk chuatna chala sound ji bing chuatna. Then hits young tap chik po hit something gently chitong shi hala gently is aram nang yam ponga tai chitong chalak chikdung adna and often repeatedly especially making sharp noises hala tak 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 zete sharp noise shi produce cha juadna te wanga tai tabs in thikra thugun then cello means musical instrument chi no khale जैसे कि guitar za chokes piano za chokes la cello musical instrument chi ge ming ji no thikra le then afflict cause suffering or unhappiness chitong singa ta skitpo myong che sik chat na hala te veja se skitpo yoamen na te wo ngata afflict zin thikra le then emboss means raise or print a design etc जैसे कि चितों शिका बिंग ते यों चमा ना जैसे ngataय किताब जी का एक एवं छोसला चितों शिक दिस तंग ना ते वे एक जैसे ngataय लकपर से ना कुछ यों जर जी किया डॉक लिया मेरा ते वो ngataय embossed sin ठीक रहा थूगुन and the next word is code means a system of letters or symbols which represent something in a secret or short form code word zemira kau secret words ringatai kau minang particularly tena mi se parla ya mi group of person parla hala hagwat code word zemira kau ngatai short form ji gi fia use chon hala ya ngatai secret ngata janma pata chami chuk che se fia use chu chesla ngatai codes in tikra thugun then pound means strike heavily so shetnang dungches la ngatai pounds in tikra so these are the words new words in the chapter now we will begin the chapter atai chapter bo start join leng ija changme chapter bo sile sangoma rangran lapena book pone nena jat tening yampung ngi gane labin chajik pone ngi je hagwa jat tikra le so Louis Braille was born in a small village of Couperet near France Paris France in 1809 tigra Louis Braille bo Louis ya mane Louis ang zeto khala French na Louis ano tigra le so Louis Braille bo Paris na hala Paris ka France na in Paris na ko yang jaga jik dukle ko prezeste odena khon shkeskyak date pozena 1809 na tigra le Monsieur Braille Louis father made harnesses and saddle with an awl Monsieur Braille bo saddler jigi nokzete ngal nangzes khongune harnesses ya khashap zoksala ya gyapcha zoksgun choches pokhone lasin kyak tigrale one day little Louis picked up the awl and made a stab at the leather as he bent down the awl suddenly flipped up and injured his eyes leaving him blinded jakshik jaga Louis Braille bo dukstet kya hala ko khoi abe karo last chat hala abale last chokane te nang bena songste ote abale tools gunyam pokho sapik zuk lak parset kya hala tene khoi chi chojes koshish shosh kya kani kwa ji gyot kya pa ote kwa venanga biang phuche se koshish shosh kya all jinyam po all ngal nang se halal so chi chosh kya achanak chikte all bo flip up songste that means havena izo genla yong stangste khojabik shik bend down chosh kya pa khoi migina zuk stangst kya tikra thugun so if it just khwa hala miga mar hante injured songs kya tene ma izog infection jik song kya ki khwe ko he lost his sight totally tigra ko mane blind gur kya tigra le now the 3-year-old Louis was in total darkness and never to see again that just imagine he was only 3 years old ko te jane lo sum chat kya hala ki lo sum chakan ji thugu jiga tenna man hala tenna incident pe jaste ko he lost his sight ko pura blind gur kya testing na tigrale those days the blind in backward parts of Europe and Asia were often trained to be beggars that te tu zane hala tu zane Louis Braille te tu zane mangchat hala Europe nang Asia gune nang a blind person gulna chi chwa chotlo khona silches riches mangya na hala changlas was chu mayan pasang as a beggar khone last chu cholo tigrale Poor Monsieur Braille could never forgive himself for the accident to his son and everybody tried to make life easier for him. Ta eve jaste khorai abale halale Louis Braille abale izok shante hurt song kya ki nge jaste nge thuguve mitse vo taba song halak nge thugu vo blind gyur hala samse khwar ma shante regret feel dik song kya tigrale tene nyampong mi changme Louis Braille bo las lamo chache sefia khon changme ya to chwat mi changme halale the boy had a cane and soon learned to tap his way around the village like I already told you ki Ken yot putse laga hala izuila Louis Braille la Ken jigot kerle walking stick kaunang with which help he can walk around tigrale yang tap his way around the village then enam khoka ruchana khora thak 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 tap choches ngala machatsa ozuk change kho har jaga chat kyak tigrale there comes little Louis the villagers said when they heard the tapping of his can ta village nam hala Louis Braille bo ona can bo khurte tak tak zen yo achik pone villagers gune zat kya ane Louis Braille yo rag zete hala chap awas pa chora chik pone Louis yo rag zete villagers gune zat kya tigrale they scratched over grooves on the road so that Louis would count the exact number of cane taps it took him to reach the road. That means changme hala everybody was making life easier for Louis halale changme khone fia la slamo choche se fia lam gun chapik saf choste onchmana saf choste borat kya taki Louis yo achik ponete kyan bokhurte tak tak porsi nyante khokaru chachen na teru aram se khol lep chukche se fia thigra tap 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 so many taps to the big trees so many more to the pond they then many more to the hills tene kho tap 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 zete nang japik taps gun count choste changma jik chenme gyot kyak te chakpe kho count choste tega chat kyak tene yang japik marik tap khachik chona kho jing shidun la lebat kyak yang tap khachik marik chona den ko hille dun la lebat kyak tega ri chunji gyot kyak te ve dun la lebat kyak that means kwe sin ji khala korai kya ne tap por sin ji kho jaga changma lebat kyak tigrale this tapping stayed with him through his life and was to mean much to the world later on then khwefia e tapping bo marhante hala khurang yang pong lus kya marhante zaruri yang in kya hala kho age izuk chache sifia zindagi guzara choche sifia tigrale at home as he grew older Louis tried to help his father in the harness shop handling the tools and bits of leather tene khampa duk jane hala Louis se chi chwat kya khampa duk ste khura abale ya to chwat kya khoi harness shop pe nang ko ga zu khala leather tang ches ya hala abale chi ya to gos na Louis se ya to chwat kya tigrale Louis finger grew nimble and strong his hearing became very keen then kho abale ya to choste khoi fingers gun ma hante strong song to kya last choste tigra yang khoi hearing bo now he is blind halale kho blind in chest pe jaste ta khoi e sense po hearing sense po ma strong gyur to kya kho chi thangma ekdam chorat kya tigra le at the village school his teacher was amazed at how well Louis learned by ear and memory school chazane school teacher bizam heran chat kya ki Louis la hala isam khwe izuk memory nang khwe sirf ear be jaste namcho ge jaste nang khwe itu borches be jaste khwe isam mangpo lobs du khala kho cham shitak bo no hala ki kho blind din nang English ke jaste ko mar hante takpo dukhala zete teacher on heran chat kya tigrale yet he was unhappy for Louis wanted to learn to read and write like other children and he knew he could not then yang Louis la chang kho satisfied met kya chazana he wanted to read and write like the other children hala baki children zola khwang jangin yot kya khwa ri chungin yot kya khwang dingin yot kya tigrale kau khe samat kya khwa pata kya ki khwa nyana man ozir kanbo then it so happened that the schoolmaster heard of a school in Paris called the Royal Institute for the Young Blind then schoolmaster be khwe fya hala school jikstas kya le Paris nanga kavenanga young blind gunefia school jigin kya institute jigin kya then khwe zo Louis po zeska khala auto zespa he got Louis admitted into this school quest ote teacher be Louis po ote school in a jukskyak tigrale where he learned to play the piano and the cello expertly then te school bena song te Louis la piano puches nang cello puches puma expertly mane ara mane takpo nang yam pungyan kyak tigrale Louis graduated from the school after 8 years then lo gya desting bone ote school ne ko graduate chuskyak then the institute appointed him as a teacher of blind children then institute pe kho teachers hurla hala teacher is hurla appoint chuskyak blind children gunefia for the rest of his life he devoted himself to teaching and helping the blind then falla ko khorai mi chevo blind gunla ya to choches nang blind guna lapche sefia phutkyak At about the time Louis Braille came to the institute founders, Valentine Howe, had heard a new way of reading for the blind. Tene te time ka hala institute founder be onna institute sukan be hala founder be ka be minga Valentine Howe zat khoe izuk blind gunifia reading chuche sifia tarika samajik khone phes kyak tigrale. In this way, the letters were embossed, that is raised to the other side of the heavy paper, so that the blind person could trace their shape with their fingers. Halale. Tene khoe ko luk shipis kya zena जैसे कि hard paper shante ji ka iswa hala letters disk shet nang tigrale ताकि other side पे का iswa ngatai nyuk stang na pura emboss sonte kya that means pongpong bings te kya ka vejaste blind gun read chonyanat kya tigrale. Louis would trace each letter over and over again. I will learn to read. Then Louis say pura letter re hala izwa nyukste silat kyak tene khwezet kyak I will learn to read hala tanga sil nyanchira hala zete khwezes kyak. He said determinedly khwezam determination nyam poses kyak ki hange nyan chugin hala nyan chang rak nyan nang chugin zete, and he did. But for a quick mind like Louis Braille, this was too much slow a way to read, for the letters had to be large, at least an inch high. So even a very short story would fill many volumes, many heavy volumes, and a blind child would have to spend a long time doing just a little reading. But Louis Braille so say I hushar turi fya you must slow way of learning jikin kya khala defya is even anga books rik dinang mane zo volumes mangpo jigya pages mangpo jik chat kya chazana letter pages gunang hard in kya letter gunang chenmo inch re chok high d goes pasanta mane isam time consuming plus ivo mane slow way of learning jikin kya tigrale. Beside it was hard and expensive to print books with embossed letters. There was very little for blind to read. Tene teo man pa yu kaspo jang yot kya hard jang yot kya plus expensive jang yot kya man kuspo chat kya even a page paper mang po som pasang kuspo chat kya book chik print choche sifia I jok sala letters embossed chose the diche sifia man kuspo chat kya tefia books mangpo jik biang met kya tene blind gunifia silche sifia books nyon jik mane yo met kya. For long books and important books, a blind person had to depend on friends to read out to him. Tene mane books demo jigifia important khachan book rigifia ya book mane print reading halanga ta silches chizan utate books thugmo unifia kaune chitong mangpo diste yodo tegun silches efia blind gulna friend gune ka rely chogosat kya friend gulna khona silte tangosat kya khatigrale. There must be an easier way for the blind to read and write, young Braille said over and over again. Then fir be hala Braille hala Louis Braille samat kya tarung easy way ji yor doba ka we just ngaya hala silches nang diches polamik chen samte saminduat kya tigrale. Then only books can free the blind. Khoi samat kya ki sirf books se just ngaya free chano. Otherwise hala ngaya ngai mitse wo chang man gan zoshi no tigrale. A person can never be truly educated unless he can read. Then khoi mind na tyo kya ki music sil manyan na kho truly educated person jingma no zerkan jik zoshi halale. Louis was only 17 years old when an idea struck him that there must be an easier, quicker way for blind to read than by trying to feel the way around each letter. He was looking for a code. Then Louis po sirf 17 years old chat yakka time beka khoinga isuk idea ji hala struck khoi mind na isuk idea ji yongs kya ki tarung hala isuk shi yor doba easier way ji yor doba ka we just ngaya demo just silnyanin there must be an code hala code chig yoddo hala ka we just he was looking for a code chig if ya khud start kya ki short form jik chok ya hala secret form jik chok short form jik chok ka we just ngaya reading easy chen samte ko oto samat kya tigrale. One evening he found the answer teni jakshik jaga pitok chiga khwa answer bo thop kya. He was sitting in a restaurant listening to a friend read aloud from a newspaper. Then his jakshik friend jingam po duks deyot kya friend be khwefia newspaper bo silen chat kya tezane suddenly he heard something that made him jump up. In his excitement, Louis pounded on the table, shouting, laughing, and crying all at once. Then he jakshik halale ko ote newspaper be nazar kan bot sorte ko he jumped at once. Ekdam ko jump chos tangs kyak. Then izug excited song kya izug that kyak ki table khurai ka hala jaks dekho kucho kaling tangs te got te man nguma got sos khwa khwat kyak tigrale. The new article was about night writing, a new signal code in the French army. Then te wo khwachi thor kyak zena khwachi halate zani khwachi idea khwa izu pochi thop kyak zena news soma bo article jik soma jigot kyakle kave night writing ka diste yot kyak ka night writing bo French army nanga use chot kyak tigrale. An artillery captain named Charles Barbier in the Napoleon army had developed a technique of sending messages by means of dots and dashes in relief that is standing above the surface of the paper like embossed type. Tigra, then te zane Charles Barbier zete captain jigot kyakle I French army na French Napoleon army na tigra Napoleon izuk gapo Napoleon army yot kyakpa te na izuk shigot kya captain jigot kya o te captain ni chi phingsot technique somaj phingsot kya ka vena khwe dots nang dashes use shosot kya dots na pite khala dashes na izu chapik line chapik use shome da otongata dashes na o chogji use shos te wo embossed type chogshya malap chapik chik ngata mik zum se zug jos tangna ya mundigina izwa feel jos tangna chorche shik mesu shachis rai fingers gunyam po tigrale o the jos technique chikwe with the help of dots and dashes tigra o chok shikwe pings te kya. This code could be used in dark because it could felt the fingertips tigrale ivo na chanlang use chona diat kya tigra jazena you sir fingertips gun felt choste izwa fingertips nyampo chor chukse feel choste hagwat kya do izupo code po tigrale tene if a man could read and write a message in the dark without using his eyes, then a blind person could do it too. Then Louis Braille samkya ki kaltis ka to music chanla munde ge nanga without using his eyes. Hala mik po use ma chuang khwa I chama silnyan anna. Then blind person jang aram se silnyan che rakhala samte khwate idea wa thop kyak tigrale. Louis met Captain Barbier who explained him his code to him. He punched some hole in a sheet of paper with a small awl, not so different from one that had caused him his sight. Then Louis Braille bo Captain Barbier nyam po thok zani Captain Barbier izok joste hala all jignam po izo paper jigi ka sheet of paper jigi ka zo biang phutte hala izo zuk joste mark joste joskya then khwa feel cha juskya tigrale feel chajuskya. The captain made Louis feel the bumps or dots that he had made on the other side of the paper. A certain combination of dots meant a certain army command like retreat to the main line or ceasefire or so on. Tigrale. Then captain khwaizo feel chajuskya. That means izu I line in adikan be main line ka lokste yong matlab army na sipe na code use cho anok taki enemy pata mi chache se fia tigra tena fia I captain khwashat kya ki ngaje I for line be I code matlab po yu inki changma line la lokste yong ya fire bo cease jo yang another code matlab po fire bo cease jo fire bo ban jo zete ozog in zete khwe shat kya tigrale. Louis Braille was overjoyed. Punching dots on paper was easy, fast, and inexpensive. Hala paper eka dots digizo punch choches. Hala punch choches po mani isam chikchikta lamo inok chikchikta fast inok ekdam chano yang chikchik inexpensive inok mani tazam chik penyang inamang po chaman ok sam kya hala. Now he could figure out a way by which the blind might punch out all the words in code made of dots. Takhwa ite lambo thop kya kavijaste blind gunla isos code use shoste silches nang diches nanga help you in someday. Yale thugun I chapter bumangs lendi hches bejaste ngata ina video vinai chapek borin next video wo kaungeja sangma staches ma zaruri nokchia zena I chapter bo complete machano first of all nispa Louis Braille system jik phins kya ka veskola sirf next video vinanga ta discuss chuches no Braille system jistika famous ya popularly Braille jitinga ta use zerat otanga ta next video vina silches no. Thank you.